The DREAM Act would grant citizenship to those brought to the U.S. illegally when they were kids, as long as they stayed out of trouble, spent time in college or the military. Is it a reasonable solution? We're following up on the conversation we started just before the break, and here with two differing views, Margot Cohen, an attorney representing Lisbeth Mateo, who you saw in the piece just a few minutes ago, and two others arrested at Senator McCain's office, and also Bob Dane from the Federation for American Immigration Reform. Welcome to both of you. Margot, let me start with you here. The United States government is going forward with deportation proceedings against your clients. Were they prepared? It didn't seem like it in that interview, really, but do you think they were prepared for what actually may happen here?
You know, I think they are absolutely prepared. What these young people have done is taken a very courageous step to push Congress to enact the DREAM Act. You know, their generation, it's really not about these 3, 4 young people. It's about their generation. And they're poised to make a tremendous contribution to our country. And Congress has got to step up and set them free and let them get on with their lives and make that contribution.
Bob, can you see that it can be sort of hard listening to them to not have at least some empathy for these kids?
Well, there are two sides to the equation here. I mean, we used to grant diplomas when you graduated. Now it's going to be a green card. We hope not. Look, the DREAM Act is a massive amnesty that is being disguised as an educational initiative. It's another way to piecemeal amnesty. If this were enacted, we would be giving away wholesale college tuition admission slots, financial aid, grants, scholarships to illegal aliens at the expense of legal U.S. residents. And like all amnesties, it rewards illegal behavior, it encourages more, and it's fundamentally unfair. And it's unfair, particularly in this situation, Campbell, because think about it. If you are a poor U.S. resident, legal U.S. resident, your kid's a real go-getter, and you're scrambling for a small and very limited share of financial aid, you know, it's not going to resonate very well with moms and dads all across the country that they have to now start competing with illegal aliens for that limited pool.
Margot, how do you respond to that, the dressed-up amnesty?
Well, I respond to it that the parents of these young people have paid in sweat equity, and they've earned a place for their kids to be here. You know, I represent a young woman who's a DREAM Act student whose husband's in combat in Afghanistan right now, and he's done 2 tours in Iraq. That young woman deserves to be a U.S. citizen.
And Bob, to that point, I mean, the people you're talking about here have largely assimilated. They speak English. They've graduated from high school or college, and in some cases have risked their lives to serve our country in the military. They're not only fitting in, they're succeeding in this country. Shouldn't there be some reward for that? I mean, are these not the type of people that you want to stay here?
Well, you know, one thing, Campbell, to understand about the DREAM Act, you know, illegal aliens can still, they shouldn't, but for better or for worse, they can still attend colleges. I mean, most community colleges across the country look the other way as to immigration status. So they can certainly attend school. But here's what the DREAM Act does. The DREAM Act gives them the reward for doing it in 2 ways. It gives them in-state tuition. In-state tuition, they're not even residents of the United States, let alone the state that they're applying for in-state tuition for. And secondly, it does reward them with another very huge incentive, and that is one of the most precious things possible, American citizenship. So, you know, we're simply saying you should not be rewarding illegal alien students for going to college.
So let me ask you both this question, but Bob, start here. I mean, I know, we all want comprehensive immigration reform, right? Everybody's talked about that. And I know you're interested in much more enforcement, Bob, correct, of the borders. Would you be okay with the DREAM Act if enforcement were a component? Could this be the beginning of a step toward more comprehensive reform?
Well, you know, we certainly need comprehensive immigration reform, but we need to dispense with this notion that amnesty really has anything to do with it at all. We need to secure the borders and dry up the incentives on the interior, jobs, driver's licenses, and yes, unfortunately, subsidize college tuition and in-state tuition.
I'm running out of time here, so I want to give Margot a chance to respond. Margot?
You know, this is not about rewarding these young people. Their mothers and fathers have earned this. These are de facto American citizens, but for what's on their birth certificate. They are poised to make a tremendous contribution. Congress must act and set them free.
To both of you, to Bob and Margot, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time tonight. We're going to end it there.
Thank you so much, Kimberly.